All issues are owned by the team to drive solutions. There is a complete transparency and no surprises at the end. And not you and me, but the project and product is important. And that's why I said right at the beginning, Agile is not a methodology, it's a philosophy. We need to develop this particular aspect in our mind. Our mindsets must be changed. That I need to be accountable for my tasks. I'm accountable for the quality of my task. The quality is owned by everybody. Okay. Whatever the work I'm doing, I'm on the same page with all my team members. There is a very strong collaboration between the teams. We learn from business analysts, we learn from developers, we learn from testers. They are expert in different areas and their perceptions are different. A tester has a wider picture, a big picture of the product, while developer may have limited picture. But developer knows implementation details, while a tester knows the business requirements, the user expectations. Business analyst is a person who would guide us, the technical team members, who is interface between the end users and the engineering team. Now this business analyst must know the business. He should know the workflow of a specific feature and he should be able to add value in specifying these requirements. So this is all about Agile. So I have just focused more on Agile, and then the practices which are deployed in Agile. Now we move to another aspect of our agenda, that is quality practices. Typically when we say quality is deployed, how quality is deployed? It's PDCA, plan, do, check and act. It's a naming wheel. We say that quality is deployed using plan, do, check and act, and there is a continuous improvement. Quality is a journey without destination, and you need to continually improve. Now, the same concept, the Deming's PDCA concept, is very rightly implemented in Agile development methodology. Agile uses the same concept. We plan. What do we plan? We plan features, the releases, the sprints. We plan based on our capacity available, the resources and the manpower available. We do what we do. The team and the customer collaboration on requirements, understanding requirements, understanding the granularity of the requirements and evolving requirements. We do develop the design, we develop the core, we use the concepts of peer review and pair programming. What we do is build daily, continuous integration. We test it daily. So it's something like all activities we do in one time box. Okay. Now what we check. In Agile we have stand-ups. You all must be aware of what are stand-up meetings. Like every day in the morning or at the end of the day you assemble together and everybody, each and every team member will give you the updates about where we are, what task is done, what we have done today, what was the issue which was faced by me and what I'm going to do tomorrow. And in case if the issue is faced, what support I need from the team. These are some of the areas which are communicated to the whole team in stand-ups. So what do we do finally? We track tasks, we track schedule, we track efforts. Okay, we track issues. Okay, we drive issues to solutions. Okay, and then issues are not owned by a single person. Issues are owned by the team. Okay, then we track risks. Whatever issues which we have, they may be related to project, related to process, related to people, related to requirements, related to stakeholders involvement, anything, which comes under the domain of project. All these issues are tracked to identify what are the risks involved, and then finally concurrent testing. That is verification and validation done on the daily basis. What we do after PDC is act. Now there are sprint retrospectives. The first sprint when we finish, we need to retrospect our performance. what we did well. What are the areas of improvement? There may be 10 areas of improvement. You need to prioritize them. And finally decide that these couple of them should be taken in my next sprint. So I track my planned improvement in my next sprint. So over and over, our performance should be shown, demonstrated as improving with respect to productivity and quality when we deploy each and every sprint in sequence. So Agile deploys PDCA very naturally, and PDCA is the crux of quality deployment. Agile focuses on continuous improvement, okay? And this continuous improvement is achieved by PDCA. Now when I talk about the last agenda point of the seminar, when I talk about quality practices in Agile, they automatically come and very naturally implemented. So we can say how V&V is implemented naturally. Requirements evolve by discussion and reviews of stakeholders and VA involvement. So we have, we automatically review user stories. We have implementation details in the form of mind map and workflow stories. Okay, and these implementation details and impact analysis details, they help us in actual coding. Okay, these drives stakeholders on the same page. What they drive? That all the stakeholders are on the same page. Requirements granularity evolve at the sprint level, and team collaboration is more important than department independence. Now this is a very important aspect. Collaboration of team is the first and foremost priority than department independence. When we talk about design, it's big design upfront. Generally, people have misconceptions about Agile, that designing is never done, architecting of the product is never done in Agile mode, But sprint -1 and sprint 0, they are explicitly reserved for identification of the product backlog, design in forms of architecture, and then components and interfaces and databases, and then come up with the sprint plan in the sprint 0. And then we deploy the sprints from sprint 1 to sprint end. Okay. Quality, as I said earlier, is automatically taken care because of the peer reviews and peer coding. And naturally, because of the testing, because it is tested day in, day out. Okay. Automated build creation using continuous integration tools is a quality practice. Stories shall never be done if acceptance criteria is not met. User involvement in demonstration of working software is very essential. Every sprint must end with a demo to the customer, and customer's single point of contact should sign that demo for the correctness and acceptability. Okay, and that reduces risk at the early stage. So the crux is natural tracking and implementation of all those issues which we want to do to ensure that our jigsaw puzzle fits all its pieces at the right places. Project management, tracking, scope tracking, schedule tracking, efforts and task tracking, issues tracking, risk assessment, escalations if needed, stakeholders involvement, quality management for compliance, configuration management for controls, and resource management for checks and balances. Better quality implies reduction of defect, reduction of rework cost, reduction of operational cost and support cost. So impact and the cost of quality is sizable. Agility in handling issues as soon as possible, better productivity, and enhanced motivation for engineers. The firefighting, defect fixing is more tiring than actually doing work. For 1 man-hour of clean coding, if it is done right the first time, it's cheaper, and if there is defect, we end up spending 4 times more efforts. So it is 1:4, So you spend 4 more hours in fixing the defects for the 1 man-hour work which you have done, which has issues in it. So It's always, not the work, but then the firefighting that is stressful. So the enhanced motivation for engineers is better because the defects reduction is better. Naturally, this drives to better customer satisfaction and directly proportional to the revenue generation and bottom line. We say that, for getting a new customer, we spend 10 times more money than retaining the existing customer. So why not retain the existing customer? Okay, the last slide. So what I have said here is quality definition suits more than 100% in Agile mode due to its nature of deployment and due to this methodology. I'm a big fan of Agile. Scrum I have been using, and I noticed that I have seen teams becoming empowered, teams becoming very strong, collaborating very strong, evolving as very empowered team, and then these teams, they deliver the right stuff. And what Deming has said, conformance to